I started the run by going to the tutorial and getting the coin that was there, then talking to the apple so I could buy the chaser to unlock the lobber. Then I went and did forest fire. Then I went and did treetop trouble to get the coins needed to buy the lobber. Then I beat the game in regular mode. Since you will see all the bosses later, but in extra mode I decided not to show the regular mode battles. Psych, we are showing the battle for Saltbaker. This dude took countless attempts to beat. I mean, I died left and right, battle after battle. His hitbox was so small and so high up in the first phase, it was so hard to get any damage, and most of the time I would wait for the parryable sugar cube so I could get my EX bar up to spam EX moves on him. But with the amount of attacks on screen from the sugar cubes to the lime, strawberry, animal crackers, and the fireballs falling from the ceiling, it made this boss a living hell. Anyways, I beat him with Cuphead and got a B rank and went back to Inkwell Isle 1 to start expert mode. The root pack went as you would expect it to go. I went and beat the potato, onion, and carrot and got an A-. And with Goopy being the second boss in the game, I obviously beat him first try. Well, that happened. Anyways, after that awkward occurrence, I managed to beat him this time and redeem myself and get an S rank. Still doesn't soothe the pain from when I just fucking died to him though. After that I went back to Forest Follies and got all the coins there because I knew I'd have to come back to 300% the game anyways, so... Next I went and dealt with Hildeberg, and since it's a plain level the lobber doesn't exist, so I'm not really gonna go into detail about it. Next was Cagney Carnation, and you'll never guess, I beat it on my first try. How the fuck was I able to beat this boss on the first try? But it took me 2 tries for Goopy Legrand. Anyways, enough being salty about Goopy Legrand, now it's time to go and fight Ribby and Croak. There really wasn't much to say for this boss, to be honest. I mean, I got past the first 2 phases pretty quickly, and then I got the bull, then tiger, then bull again for the slot machine phase. And then I got a knockout. And that's the first isle completed. Next I had to fight Beppy the Clown, and the battle went pretty easy enough. I managed to beat it on the second try, because I fucked up in the first one. But other than that, I'd normally use the lobber for this anyways, at least for the first phase. And then the second, third, and fourth phase, it's really just dodging until you can actually beat him. But yeah, I managed to beat him, and now we're on to the next boss. Sugarland Shimmy was next with Baroness von Bon Bon. I've beaten this boss without jumping, so it really wasn't a problem for me. The ones we got for it were the cupcake, waffle, and then gumball machine, which is a good selection since none of them are too hard. And then we got the knockouts. Once again, since lobber isn't in plain bosses unless you count the lobber bomb, which I am not, we will be skipping Jimmy the Great and going directly to going directly to Grim Matchstick. Is there really a point in me saying anything for this boss? Like, I would always use the lobber for this boss. And I always turn off my super because I think the EX move for the lobber is better than the super, at least in this selected battle. This is basically just normal version of Grim Matchstick for me. So yeah, we beat it first try, and now we're moving on to Rumor Honeybottom. Psych, I lied, and by lied I mean I forgot about the running guns. But they're the running guns, we just went through both of them and got the coins, and then we went on to Rumor Honeybottom. Next up was Rumor Honeybottom. I would normally use the lobber for this battle, so it was pretty easy. The only real problem was the second phase, and even that one wasn't too bad. Normally with the lobber I'd first just jump up like 1 or 2 squares so I could shoot the worker bee at the very beginning. And then around the end I just stay at the sides so I can just keep shooting down at the airplane version of Rumor Honeybottom. So that was pretty simple enough. Next up, Captain Brinybeard. I beat this boss on my second try because I died to the ship at the very end. The only real problem I had with it was that the lobbers couldn't always hit him. But other than that, it was pretty simple. Next up was Werner Werman, or Werner Wermer, however you would like to say it. That's who was next up. I will be very honest, I could beat this boss in my sleep. That's how easy he is. Okay, jokes aside, I beat him first try. His first phase was pretty much the same as always. Dodge all the projectiles he throws at you and parry when you need to. Second phase, once again, it didn't change much. Just shoot and dodge the bottle caps and the fire and pretty much good to go. And the last phase is pretty much the same. The cat's hitbox is extremely large, so you can pretty much hit him from pretty much anywhere. And as long as you keep an eye out for any of the projectiles coming your way or any of the wood cheese falling from the sky or the paws, you should be good to go. Easy as pie. Easiest boss in the goddamn game. Change my fucking mind. You can use any weapon against this dude. See, I got an S rank on this motherfucker. This dude should not be in aisle 3. He should be in aisle 1. Now, after telling nothing but the truth, we headed over to Rugged Ridge to get all the coins from there. Okay, so I may have died in my first attempt, but this running gun's pretty hard, okay? Anyways, I got all the coins and took home the victory, and now it was time to go and do Dr. Cal's robot. So since this is a plain battle, I won't be showing the fight, but just so you know, I beat him first try. I beat him my third attempt. Yeah. Next up was Calamaria. It's a plain boss. I'm not gonna die in this one since it's way easier than any of the other plain bosses, and by any of the other plain bosses, I mean it's way easier than Dr. Cal's robot. But, you know, I beat it on my first attempt. So, that's that. Next was Sally's stage play. And this is where I actually get to talk some more about the battles. In the first and second phase, it was pretty simple. Her hitbox is pretty small, but she stays on the ground for most of the battle. In the third phase, her hitbox is way bigger and her attacks are way more easy to tell which is gonna attack. But that definitely didn't stop me from pulling this stunt. Her last phase was definitely the hardest, because her hitbox is so small, and not only that, she is in the air the entire time of that last phase. So the only thing I could do was dodge the umbrella, dodge the rose, and hope that I get enough hits on her to finish the battle. Now we come to the hardest boss in Equal Owl 3 for this challenge, the Phantom Express. The Blind Spectre was definitely the hardest of all of them, because not only to be able to actually hit him, I'd have to be right on the edge of the platform, but also I would have to focus on dodging the eyeballs, and also on parrying the... what is it that falls from the sky? I have no clue. Parrying the things that the pumpkin drops every single time they try and drop it on me. The train conductor was not that hard. It's just every single time I jump, there's a chance that my head would hit his hitbox, causing damage to me and therefore almost killing my run. And, well, in most cases, killing my run. And as you can see, we still have the pumpkins from the first phase still hanging around, forcing me to go to different places that I don't want to go to, making the head be at a completely different side of the map, while I'm over at the other side. But for the most part, this phase was just like annoying at best. It wasn't too difficult to deal with. Next up was the lollipop ghouls. They're pretty simple to deal with, to be honest. You can stand behind them for most parts, and usually I just immediately throw a bunch of EX moves on one of them to immediately kill them. And then I just quickly get over to the one that I haven't killed yet and just stand behind it so the lasers will not hurt me. The only real problem we have with it is that the ghosts that come from the middle of the train will basically heat seek you until it either hits you or until it dies. And when it dies, and also when it hits you, it will turn into a pink thing that either you can parry or it can hit the cart and force the cart to move again. But other than that, this phase is pretty simple, just a little bit annoying. The last phase is the head of the train, which is definitely a bad one, to say the least. Not only does it just have like an absurd amount of attacks, but the train itself is in the air where you can only hit him if you jump, but you also have to parry the tail to open the gate to actually hurt the heart. And the thing with this phase is that it's the last phase, which means the other three can drain your HP to 1, leaving this one to pretty much kill you instantly if you are not prepared for its attacks. Also, if you haven't noticed already, the pumpkins from the first and second phase are back and they're ready to screw over your run once again. Or, you know, I could just do that and screw myself over. I don't know how I pulled that, but I did, so that's pretty impressive. Apart from the pumpkins dropping bar of soap on your head every single chance they get, there's also the fires coming out of the train itself, meaning not only do you have to dodge the soap in the fire, but also the bones that shoots out of his nose for some reason. What is this boss anyways? Why is it like this? Anyways, after like 6 restarts and 3 deaths, I did finally manage to beat it, and now we are on to King Dice and the devil himself. So, my plan going into King Dice was nothing, to be honest. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going for him because he is the easiest out of all of them. Even with the lobber, because Chip's Bedigan hits box is weird. You can't hit the last one, the Tipsy Turvy group. So the 3 I went for was Mr. Wheezy, Pippin Dot, and Mangosteen, because they're the easiest bosses from each line, at least if you're using the lobber only. Because during this entire phase, I didn't use anything but the lobber. I didn't use any charms, I didn't use any supers, it was only the lobber. Meaning I couldn't use Smoke Dash. I mean, this all changed when I got the Saltbaker in expert mode, but we'll talk about that later. Oh, also, this happened. I wasn't paying attention to what number that would land on. I'm gonna go for 3, 2, and anything but 1 after we get that. There we go. And after that, I fought King Dice and beat him. You know, for the second and final boss, he really isn't that hard. Now it was time for the devil himself, the hardest boss in the entire game. I beat him on my second attempt. I've already beaten the devil in the first phase with the lobber, so it wasn't too difficult. Then the second phase, his hitbox is pretty much the entire screen, and same goes to the third and fourth actually. So all I had to do was just keep shooting and almost all of my attacks would land. And his attacks are pretty simple to dodge. Just watch out for the poker chips falling from the sky, watch out for the bats coming down, watch out for the axe, the bomb, the demons on the sides, the tears. In the first phase, watch out for all his normal attacks. It was pretty simple. And so I beat the game in 4 hours and 50 minutes on both regular and extra mode. So I thought, let's go. That means like the DLC is probably gonna take like 3 or 4 hours at most. So first I defeated the King Leaps boss. First I went for the pawns, then the knight, then the bishop, then the rook, and then finally the queen. Then I went to face my first actual boss of the DLC, which was Glumstone Giant. I already hate this boss as it is, but I have been trying to do this boss with the whetstone only, so it has gotten a little bit easier for me. The first phase is just the gnomes at the bottom that keep screwing it up, and also every single time the geese come by, the platform on would always go up, or at least most of the time. The bear he brings out really isn't a problem, because as long as you're on like the edge of the second to last platform, you will not get hit. The fumes coming from the pot in his mouth isn't really a problem, so the only real things to deal with are the gnomes on the ground and the gnome that hits you with the hammer, also the geese that flies by. But other than that, it's pretty simple. The second phase was always a run breaker for me, because even if I came into this phase with all my HP, most of the time I would lose all of it to the gnomes or the ball bouncing back and forth. The ball was pretty easy to deal with, it's just trying to focus on both it and the gnomes to cause me multiple battles, but their hitboxes are decently big, so as long as I'm a few feet away from them and shooting to the top left or the top right, I could always hit them at least like 80% of the time. His last phase was definitely the hardest, and it's for the same reason I had trouble with Chef Saltbaker in regular mode. His hitbox is so high up and so small and is moving so much that I can barely get any hits on him. And since he's getting rid of the platforms under me most of the time, I would sometimes fall to my death without even realizing it. But the attacks the gnomes throw and the chicken legs and the bones falling from the sky isn't really too much of a problem. It's just with me trying to reach up to him to shoot him, I am not paying attention to my surroundings, so I just keep getting hit by stuff. But as long as I was paying attention to my surroundings, the last phase was decently easy. Oh my god, I finally did it. I finally did it. I finally did it. I finally did it. I should probably mention that this took like 30 attempts, so that's why I got so excited at the end. I'm gonna go ahead and say it now. All of the DLC bosses except for Moonshine Mob and Esther Winchester took a long time to beat. And Mortimer Freeze is the same. It took forever. I had this problem where every single time he throws out his ice minions, I'd always run into one of them by accident while trying to dodge them, and then I'd have to restart the battle again. But that's pretty much the only bad thing about the first phase, since I can easily dodge the books and I can easily dodge the whale. So yeah, the ice minions are really the only problem in the first phase. In the second phase, the only real problems I had were the ice cubes and the popsicles. For some reason, every single time the yellow popsicle specifically came out, I would hit it 95% of the time. I was about to say, so now I have to do the last phase with 1 HP, but nope, I'm not even gonna get to the last phase, so fuck. everything. Why is this dude so difficult? It's always the yellow fucking popsicle. It's always the yellow popsicle. What? It's always the yellow popsicle. Anyways, you get the gist. Yellow popsicle is the spawn of Satan. But anyways, the last phase, it really wasn't much different from, like, normally. Other than when I get there, I usually have not much HP. Because of the first two phases. But after a few attempts and getting to the last phase with 2 HP, I managed to beat it. I don't even know where I got that parry at, and I don't give a fuck either. Obviously, I wasn't amused by this boss at all, but maybe the next boss would be a lot better. Let me try that. So, the hitbox for the Bulldog is way too small to hit, and he's way too high up, so it's basically just another Saltbaker incident. As well as there is the tennis balls falling from the sky, along with the heat-seeking fire hydrants. The only time I could get good damage on him was when he goes to the left or right side of the screen, but even then, if he uses the cat, he's only there for like 5 seconds, and I can't hit him since I can't aim because I have to duck. If he uses the bone attacks, I can hit him, but he's there for like a little bit less time than he is with the cat. The first phase was definitely the hardest because whenever I'm done with it, I usually have like 1 HP going into the final 2 phases. And then I'm not fully prepared for the third phase, so I would usually get shot by the laser or hit by one of the dog bowls. But after a few attempts, I did finally manage to beat it, and now we are on to Moonshine Mob. Oh my god, I did it, fuck you, and fuck you too. Fuck you the most, cause you are a shitty pilot. And after that battle, I got the break I deserved, and I went and fought Moonshine Mob, and beat it on my first attempt. I used the same lobber strat that most people use for the first and third phase, and then I just walked around and dodged the lasers that come from the record player in the middle on the second phase. In the last phase, I just made sure not to get faked out by the fake knockout, and then it was pretty much good to go. I got so scared at the end. I don't feel like dying to this dude. Anyways, after that I went and beat Esther Winchester, somehow got an S rank on it, and now it was time to go fight Chef Saltbaker, the bane of my existence in this run. I got a perfect score. Oh my god. S rank, let's go. Hello. So we started this battle 6 hours and 37 minutes into the challenge. Remember that time, cause you're gonna really want to remember it for the very end of this. So, if you remember everything I said at the beginning for regular mode Saltbaker, just add an additional fireball to it, which makes this way more difficult. The sugar cubes now give 2 parryable sugar cubes for each time they come instead of just 1, so Thankfully, that's the thing. The first phase is pretty much the same as the first phase of regular mode Saltbaker. Just amp up the difficulty by about a multiplier of 30. When I was a young boy, my father told me to beat up salt. Fuck. When I was a young boy, my father told me to kill this bitch. When he comes out and fuck you. No one likes you. See, I had to deal with strawberries, 2 fires, kiwis, limes going from everywhere. I don't even know what the fuck they are anymore. At some point, I watched someone else do this challenge and saw that they did it with Miss Chalice. And since I beat the entire game except for this boss on expert mode with only Cuphead, I decided I'm bringing in Miss Chalice for this. It helped a lot, but it didn't help with the timer part. So we've already went over the first phase. The second phase wasn't hard at all. I would aim to shoot the pepper shakers at the bottom left and bottom right, since those were the easiest to get to, and whenever I try to get into the ones at the top, I would usually take damage in some way. I would normally invincible roll through the 2 fires that are usually on the ground, or if I can, I'll jump over them to get to the other pepper shakers. But that's pretty much all it is for this phase. Just dodge the fire, dodge the things that pepper throw at you, and dodge the little leaves that fall from the sky. Getting to the third phase was not easy at all. Getting past it was fine because the little salt twins do have pretty much no HP. There were the times where I would accidentally stay where they can kick me, but that's pretty much the only times I'd ever take damage or die from that phase. And I would normally start by throwing the lobber up to make like a little thing that we did in Moonshine Mobs battle. And usually he'd take a good amount of damage there and I'd be able to kill him with like 2 more hits. In the last phase, I couldn't really get off many hits on him, so I would usually try using the EX move of the lobber, and then accidentally either back myself up into the salt, or fall to my death, or just accidentally get hit by the heart itself. So that phase was about as terrible as the first phase, to be honest. Because there'd be times where I'd get there with all 3 HP, just to lose it at pretty much instantly. Can you just go into the fucking bluey? Can you not fucking come down on me, you fucking fireball? Strawberries are simple. I can easily dodge those. But whenever you're throwing 24,000 other fucking fuck. What the fuck did I just say? That's what I was trying to say. But it came off as a bunch of fucking scribbled up letters, and it came out of my mouth. Huh? Okay. Next phase. Okay, well, we'll continue. Boom. Oh my god. I just did that. Did you see that? I just fucking did that. I just fucked up. I'm pressing B. I don't know why the fuck it isn't using my fucking EX for this, but you know, fucking... This game fucking sucks. What the fuck was that? I fucking shit the fucking thing out. What the fuck? It was supposed to go... It shoots out your hand, not your fucking ass, Miss Chalice. It does. Because if you do not get done with this, you're gonna be playing Cuphead to the day you fucking die. Every day you're gonna sit in your room for 3 hours of fucking... 3 or 4 hours a day playing Cuphead. You want that? No, I have other stuff I would like to do other than play a fucking Cuphead. No, I didn't think this was gonna take too long, since I did beat Salt Baker normally in like 2 hours. So I thought, okay, maybe this won't take too long. Then it took a while with Cuphead, so I was like, okay, maybe Miss Chalice I'll get done with it in like an hour. Yeah, definitely been done with it for like an hour. I got so tired of this bullshit that I just randomly started saying has-been hotel lines. And, first man, next to die. Who the fuck are you? Alistair, pleasure to be meeting you. That's not how it is. Quite a pleasure. I'm about to end your fucking life. Don't you know Jack is what this is? But finally, after so long, this happened. Oh my god, I did it! Oh my god. Oh my god, I actually did it. Okay. Oh. And finally, at around 11 hours and 7 minutes, I beat Salt Baker, and all I had to do was beat the secret boss and turn the cursed relic into the divine relic, and the game was over. Throughout all your battles and all my rhymes, you have failed and perished 195 times. Thanks for telling me that. Thank you. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. This was my first time doing a video like this, with the talking over it. Also, this is my first time doing a Cuphead challenge, well, at least finishing one, because most of the other ones I would just scrap halfway through. But this one I thought, this was too much. I wasn't about to give up on Chef Salt Baker on Extra Mode when I did everything else before this. So I pulled through and I got everything done, and I hope you all enjoyed. I'd be really grateful if anyone new would subscribe. And if you can just like the video. I don't really care, do whatever you like. But if you want to see anything else like this, like a video, subscribe, and I will definitely know people want to see more Cuphead videos like this. And I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.
In the midnight glow where the stars align, we lose ourselves in the rhythm divine. Underneath the sky painted with dreams, we're chasing the echoes of silent screams. Caught in the spell of the cosmic night, where fantasies bloom